Now we're going to look at our wing entry options out of the fusion offense and our 1-4 starting alignment. Number 1 has the option again to throw to either player, 2 or 3. In this diagram now we're going to show you 1 making the entry pass to the wing player, number 3. 4 recognizes the pass is made to the wing. He will cut to the basket. 3's first look, if he sees a defender playing on the high side, will be looking to make this over-the-top pass of what we call corner of the board lob over the defender for a layup and a quick basket to number 4. As soon as 1 pass to the wing, 5 is going to come in and set a back screen for number 1, who's going to look also for a lob on the other side of the basket from number 3. Okay, this action happens first. This will happen a second or two after this look as 1 comes off the back screen. So 3 has the ball. His first look is corner of the board. His second look is the lob. Once 5 sets the screen, he will now pop out and look for the basketball. If 1 did not get the lob, he will cut to the corner. Let's continue our wing entry now. We see 1 had cut to the basket for the lob off the back screen from 5. He did not get the ball, cut to the corner. 4 did not receive the pass on the over-the-top lob from 3. Now 5 is screened and stepped out. 3 is going to look to reverse the basketball on top. 4 is going to look to duck in, and we're going to look to see if we can make the high-low pass if he's open. If he doesn't get the ball, 4 continues to follow the ball across the lane. So now you have 4 over here, you've got 2 on the wing, and as you can see, we have our triangle now set up on the right side of the floor. Once 5 is made a look to this high-low and it's not open, he can reverse the ball to 2. And we have this triangle. Again, as I showed you earlier, you have several options now between 3 and 5 here. 5 can screen away from 3 and come to the top. 3 could come in and set a back screen for 5 and lob to the basket. 5 could screen away. 3 could fake the screen and cut to the basket and look for the ball. If he doesn't get it, he'd come back out to the top. But whatever options you use, and again, you can tell 3 and 5 to be very creative and to work and to read the defense on this. Whatever option they use there, whether it's a back screen or a down screen, or whether 3 fakes using the screen and cuts to the rim, they would always come back to 3 coming up to the top, 5 flashing back to the elbow. So you have 3 and 5 in alignment here. 3 and 5. Again, you should know by now that's your pinch post option or your 2-man game. And you've got your 4, 2, and 1 on the right side of the lane here in the triangle alignment. We're now in our culmination series. I'm going to show you one last entry into the fusion offense. At times you're going to have teams that are really going to get up and pressure, and you may not have easy entry passes to either 3, 4, 5, or 2 on this offense. That's very rare, and we're going to show you later on in the DVD some pressure releases. But here's one more entry into the offense to get you going quickly if you don't want to make these 3 entries. And that is simply a dribble entry from 1. He can dribble to either wing. Dribble to either wing. Here he's dribbling at number 2. Number 2 will see that, and he'll immediately clear out to the opposite corner area of the floor. As 5 sees the dribble entry, he flashes down to the low post. 4 will step up into the high top of the key area. Now it's just as if we had passed the ball to 2. 1 had dribbled it over. He's now the wing player. 1 will look to make that corner of the board pass to 5, or he can make the pass to number 4 on top. Okay, so 5's cutting to the basket. 1's driving it to the wing. 2 is clearing out. You've got an over the top corner of the board pass to 5. And your second option now is 2 to pass the ball to 4 on top. Now let's look as we finish up our dribble entry to the wing so we get you into our culmination series. 1 has the ball as he drove it over to the wing. The corner of the board, lob pass was not available to 5. 4 has stepped out. We look to reverse the ball on top to number 4. 5 is going to step in. He's isolated in the post trying to seal his man. We're trying to make the high-low entry pass to 5. If that's not there, 5 is not open, he's going to come across. 4 will reverse the ball to 3. As you can see now, we have our triangle, 2, 3, and 5. 4 and 1 now have those several screening options I showed you before. He can screen away for 1. 1 could back screen for 4 for a lob. 1 could fake using the screen from 4 and cut to the basket and look for the pass, and then cut back out to the top. But when you're finished, you'd have 4 at the elbow. You'd have 1 on top. This would be your pinch post or your 2-game option. And over here would be the 2, 3, and 5 in your triangle, ready to begin the culmination series. Okay, now we're in the culmination series of the offense. All of our entries that we've just shown you, the wing entry, the post entries, take you to this alignment. The triangle on one side of the floor, the pinch post, or the 2-man game on the other side of the floor. Obviously, depending on what entry you use, you could have your triangle on the right side and your pinch post, 2-man game on the left side. This is what it'll look like as the culmination series begins. I'm going to take you through right now the 2-man game options or the pinch post. Okay, 1 has the basketball. Of course, he has the option to throw the ball over to 3 on the other side of the floor and begin the triangle options. But right now, we're just going to show you what he has available to him on the pinch post. The first option, and usually the easiest, if 4 is being pressured, we can't get the basketball to him, he can simply come up and set a ball screen for number 1. And 1 can drive off the ball screen from 4 with 4 rolling to the basket. And they can look to score. Anytime in this offense where 4 is rolling to the basket, 5's rule is always to flash out to the high post and get his defender away from the basket. So that's your first quick hitter. 4 just stepping up and ball screening, 1 attacking the basket with 4 rolling behind him looking for the ball, 5 clearing out and leaving that backside open. So 4 is running right to the rim. If 1 doesn't have a shot, he could look to reverse it to 5 and he could look to throw it in to number 4. But that's your first quick hitter option out of the pinch post or 2-man game between 1 and 4. Continuing on with our culmination series and the options available to 1 and 4 in this diagram now, the pinch post, the 2-man game. 1 can make the entry pass to number 4. And when this happens, we're going to have some action going on the back side of the floor. In a minute, I'm going to show you that. But right now, on the 2-man game, when 1 hits 4, he's going to look to cut to the basket as one of his options. And 4 can get the basketball right back to him for a quick layup. Again, as we taught earlier in the offense, forward, again, make the outside pivot and look to screen 1's defender with his backside. And we're trying to get the ball to number 1 on the floor. As you can see, it's cleared out. He's got a lot of room to work. If 1 does get the ball, ends up on the wing, 4 can post up. 5 can flash to the high post. But you're really working on this 2-man game, trying to get 1 an easy shot here on the pass to 4 with 1 cutting to the basket and hopefully getting him the ball back inside for an easy layup. If you do a good job of executing the outside pivot and 1 doing a good job of taking his man in and around this outside pivot, running his defender into that screen. And again, we'll show you a little bit later on breakdown drills, if 1's defender decides to cheat under the screen, 1 can stop and pop back and 4 can look to pop it out to 1 for the perimeter jump shot. Now we'll look at our last option in the pinch post of the two-man game, with number 1 passing to 4, 1 cutting off the outside pivot from number 4, cutting to the basket. If 1 does not get the basketball, he will pop out to the corner. 4 does not give it to him. Now 4 has the option now to drive the ball towards the triangle side of the court. As this two-man game action is happening, as I told you, I'm going to show you in a minute here what the triangle side is doing while the two-man game is going on. This is what they're doing. As 4 gets the ball and 1's cutting off, 3 is screening away for 2 in the corner. 5 is stepping out to set a screen, and I'll show you in a minute. 2 can use a baseline pick once in a while if he wants. 5 could try to come up on the high side and almost set a double with 3 if he wanted, depending on how 2 is being defended. But 2 is coming off this screen for number 3. 4 is dribbling at number 2, looking to take the basketball from number 2 and get in the paint and score. 1 is stepped out, so he's cleared out the lane. 2 has the basketball. He's looking to drive and score in the lane, drive and kick to number 1, or as 4 gave him the ball, he is rolling to the basket, looking for the pass back from number 2. So that's your last options on your pinch post entry, with 1 hitting number 4. Now we're going to show you the triangle side of the court and a couple options on how we get the basketball over there. One, of course, is 1 passing over to 3. We're going to show you that a bit later. One of the options I really like out of this culmination series is 1 deciding not to use the screen from 4, 1 deciding not to pass to 4 and cut to the basket, as we've already showed you, but electing to dribble the basketball to the left side of the court at number 3. As you know, as 1 puts the basketball down, as we told you before, 3 is screening away for number 2, 5 is stepping out to set a screen, depending on how he's being defended, and 2 is coming off the screen, as we said before. This is the option I really like. 1 now is executing a dribble handoff with number 2 coming off the screen. 4 reads this, slides over behind 1, and is immediately ready to screen number 2's defender, which you already may be freed if they didn't switch off that first screen, but now you've got a dribble handoff screen from number 1, and you've got a 3rd screen from number 4 ready to set a pick as soon as 2 catches it. 2 would catch it, look to get into the lane, the court is cleared out, 4 would roll behind him for the rebound and the pass back. Okay, so you got 1 executing the dribble handoff with 2, 4 following behind to set a ball screen for the guy who gets the ball, number 2, and then takes it in the lane to score, or dump to 4, rolling behind him for the basket. So that's one of your options to get the ball over to the triangle side, and it's one option I really like to use to get a good shot for number 2 driving in the lane, or number 4 rolling to the basket.